Nate Silvers and these Saliza people, just bites into this glorious show. AOC. What? She's kind of fun in a silly but earnest, wrong but adorable way. She's like your daughter when she comes back from her first year at Brown, full of half-baked, half opinions, in need of some gentle, patient deprogramming. But people have to realize new faces doesn't mean new ideas.
When Greg Gutfeld goes after AOC, it's not commentary, it's comic demolition. With wit sharper than her latest buzzword, he torches the slogans, spotlights the contradictions, and leaves the virtue signaling in ashes. She brings the drama, he brings the detonator.
Where did she grow up again? Westchester?
Westchester.
She represents Queens, and she wears plaid, and then she has little ski things with like a 60-pound backpack, like she does that. I have never seen, and she showcases her whole life on social media. You can never see her in private. Everything is on social media.
Greg doesn't argue with AOC. He curates her sound bites like an art exhibit of absurdity. She delivers the script. He drops the punchlines. It's not debate, it's satire on steroids. She brings glitter, he brings gasoline.
AOC was on 60 Minutes last night. Quite a feat for a newcomer. Must be all her great new ideas.
People are going to have to start paying their fair share in taxes. Once you get to like the tippy tops, on your $10 millionth dollar, sometimes you see tax rates as high as 60 or 70%.
What an expression. Now, the real story isn't AOC's very old ideas. It's the media's gushy view of her. Even with her old ideas, she gets on 60 Minutes. The past is called the future, and you better love it.
Greg slow roasts AOC like a 5-course meal of contradictions. A working-class hero with luxury tastes, live streaming skincare like it's C-SPAN meets Sephora. She's half policy, half pop icon, and 100% comedy fuel. Gutfeld doesn't analyze, he flambase.
Victim status.
Why is it, Greg, that you can't challenge someone to a debate on the ideas without being accused of being a jerk? Like, I don't think Ben Shapiro's ever catcalled in his life.
Well, the thing is, what if a woman had challenged her to a debate? So she's actually being the sexist.
I think Candace Owens did.
Oh, really?
Now
There you go.
She has, like,
because
doubled the money.
So to answer your other question, she had to cloak her weak ideas in the armor of a smear.
She flaunts her economics degree, then tweets like she skipped arithmetic. Greg doesn't need to swing, he just points. The contradictions do the collapsing. She's got a resume, he's got receipts.
AOC has never introduced a fresh idea or issue in her life. The reason why she gets along with Bernie is because she's like an 80-year-old leftist in a used bookstore. I mean, she may look fresh, but she's as stale as an abandoned futon on the street. It's like, I listen to her, I go, I heard that at Berkeley in 1983.
The Green New Deal. Basically Pinterest meets policy. Big promises, zero blueprints. Funded by feelings, powered by hashtags. Greg strips away the glitter and finds a lifestyle brand masquerading as a lawmaker. Populist tweets, elitist perks, and no grip on reality.
She doesn't do her job, right? She makes movies, she goes to galas, she sits for glossy, butt-kissing interviews in GQ and other women's mags. Once you get over the fact that you're hollow inside, it's not a bad life.
All right, Dana? Well, I think that I read a little bit of the New York Times review.
To Greg, AOC isn't governing, she's auditioning. Every hearing is Broadway, every proposal is a monologue. Facts get labeled hate, questions get dodged with flair. And Greg's response? Simple. Where's the grown-ups table?
Then crossed her wrists behind her back, again in the faux handcuffed position. It's as tall a tale as AOC nearly being killed on January 6th. This is a person who never met a situation she couldn't make about her. She really is the Amber Heard of DC politics. I'm surprised she didn't claim she was nearly killed on 9/11, or during the Tet Offensive, or the Battle of Bunker Hill.
The Green New Deal is a stand-up set in disguise. Magic trains, no cows, checks for staying home. Greg doesn't rewrite it, he just reads it with a raised eyebrow. It's not a bill, it's climate-themed fan fiction.
She gets on 60 Minutes. The past is called the future, and you better love it. Take AOC's delightful dancing video. from last week. The media created a fake story that conservatives attacked her over this delightful trifle. Not really. In fact, the only stories written about the dance were by liberals using it to falsely smear the right. So the press creates a shield around her.
Then there's the ego. Perfect lighting, perfect filters, never a hint of doubt. AOC tweets like she's Che Guevara, then backpedals like a spin class. Greg doesn't call her clueless, just allergic to being wrong. Every U-turn, marketed as evolving.
She knew the media would obey. Let's watch the tape. You know, she'd be a great mime, like the Latina version of Marcel Marceau.
Every issue becomes a blockbuster starring AOC as the lone warrior and capitalism as the villain. Greg rips off the curtain and shows the truth. It's not activism, it's Instagram melodrama. She claims rebellion while riding the algorithm all the way to prime time.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've done Alexandria every day for the last 6 months. No, but it's true. But so is, I mean, the thing is, she does represent something. She represents a kind of like the naive romanticism that you can kind of play along and no one questions.
You mean the poems that you write when you're 15 years old?
But I think that this is a real possibility for her. You know, if she does read and she does actually get up to speed, she could be a challenge. But she hasn't. Just have some.
Greg doesn't attack. He just holds up a mirror and lets the spectacle collapse. AOC isn't passing legislation. She's uploading monologues. She doesn't solve problems. She stages them with ring lights and hashtags. And just when it cools down, Greg lights it up again.
Fans like to say she's living in our heads like Pharrell Williams singing Happy. But in fact, it's the policies that live in our heads, and they should live there, because we know so many people who've been brutalized by such ideas. When you hear someone talk about socialism like it's a fun new way to pay down my college debt, you gotta scream. Just prepare to be called awful things for doing so. Today, pointing out the evil of the past makes you the bane of the present.
Greg torches her flair for turning politics into performance art. That tax the rich dress? Not protest, just Prada posturing. Boldness. More like brand management. She didn't challenge power, she accessorized it.
Hello, America. So by now you heard that AOC, among others, were arrested last night. She truly is an American hero. It was brutal, taken out in cuffs. Well, technically, her shirt had cuffs. Maybe French cuffs, as she did surrender without fighting.
In AOC's world, borders are oppression, math is microaggression, and opposing her is misogyny. She doesn't legislate, she narrates. Greg nails it. She's not a policymaker, she's an influencer for indignation. Outrage is the product, and she's always in stock.